Hello viewers, Cat Food McFly here. I thought I'd show you a few of the aspects of Slaughterhouse 2, which should be coming out soon, hopefully, available to wishlist on Steam at the moment, mobile version soon after. Today I'm going to be looking at how you make your own cakes. You are a confectioner in the game, and one of the weapons in your arsenal against the helpless townsponies is some of the evil cakes you can make. There's 6 altogether, and you make them using these 6 ingredients. Now you don't have all these at the beginning of the game, you have to find them, which you do by either sending your little pet out to sort of investigate houses, or you might find them yourself when you sort of visit a house. So if you can find all 6, you have the full range of ingredients to use here. I've got the recipe book too, which we'll look at in a moment. But I'm going to try and make a cake. Now every cake needs 2 ingredients. It's all randomly set at the beginning of every game, so it's never the same twice. And I'm going to start off, I'm going to try a little belladonna and some hemlock. Oh, they're boiling together nicely. Oh, they didn't make anything though. You'd normally get 3 attempts to make a cake per night, but I'm on test mode here, which is why I have everything, and I can have as many goes as I want. So I've got my hemlock, my belladonna, there's also snake root, oleander, death cap, and ragwort, which isn't that poisonous. You know, it's not in the same tier as these other guys, but it is very poisonous if you're a horse. So I thought in the context of the game, we'd have it in there. So let's try some ragwort now. I'll just drop that in. There she goes, and let's try some oleander. Oh, I've managed to make a Sakura. Oh, I'm lucky. Now, as I am, essentially cheating, I can look in my recipe book, get a little shortcut, because here all the ingredients are listed. Now, in a normal game, you just get some unknowns here, because you don't know at the beginning how to make the cakes, but you might get clues from other ponies or various ways throughout the game that might help fill you in, give you a hint as to how to make them. The cakes are very powerful. You can only make each cake once, because otherwise they're just way too OP. So let's just take a little look at the cakes in detail. There's the moon cake. That makes ponies very sleepy, very dopey. Basically, you drug them. Yeah. And this is useful if it's something like you want to make sure an investigator doesn't work that night, or you want to make sure, particularly the veteran, isn't going to shoot you as soon as you show your face through the door. Send them a moon cake. They'll just be good for nothing. Shank them easy. Next we have the pound cake. This makes ponies behave incredibly suspiciously. It only lasts for 1 night, but if you know a pony is going to be visited by the detective, the sheriff, the deputy, the alicorn if she's working, send them that and they will look sus AF. They will probably get hung. It really hits their suspicion score badly, which I have to call sus, which reminds me of that other game every time I say it, but there's no other way to shorten the word suspicion. That's all you can do with it. Fruitcake affects a pony's sanity. Every pony in the town has a sanity level, including you. And if you send them a fruitcake, this is a permanent effect. How badly it affects their sanity depends on what card you drew that morning. It's related to your luck. And if their sanity gets bad, that's bad for them. In a general way, the town might start noticing they're behaving rather oddly, which increases their suspicion. It makes them less resistant to investigators, so if a pony with bad sanity is investigated by the detectives, say, they're probably going to get a bonus hit to their suspicion. And the more suspicious you get, the more likely you are to get lynched. If it goes to like full marks, whatever you call it, full whack, level 10 insanity, then there is a chance the pony will just off themselves completely. So it's incredibly unpleasant. Sakura is a nasty little cake. I like this one. This was one that took me the longest to think of, but basically, when a pony gets this cake, they will suddenly become enraged and full of hatred to some other random pony in the town, and the next day they will incite a lynch mob, and the pony that is the target of their hatred, no matter how unsuspicious they may have been up to then, will end up being lynched. The only drawback with this one is that might possibly include you, because you are a member of the population, so you're factored in as well. So, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Probably best not to use that when there's only like 3 ponies left in town though. Red velvet cake is a cake that makes a pony very jealous, very angry. So if they have that cake in their house, the same night they will kill any other pony who visits them. So visiting roles is the visitor, obviously. There's the investigative roles, possibly the reporter, and any pony that goes to visit the pony that's had the cake that night will be murdered. And it's not good for the one that did the murdering either. So that's especially nasty. And finally we got death by chocolate, which is just basically a poisonous cake. So if you can send that cake to some pony you want to kill without any risk to yourself, or a pony that you just can't get to. So for example, the naturist, like that yellow shy one that we're sort of thinking. The naturist you can't kill by regular means. You can't get to her directly because she's surrounded by animals. So you have to be a bit crafty with her, and if you can manage to make a death by chocolate, that's one way you can get rid of her. Otherwise you just have to sort of throw as much suspicion on her as possible, but death by chocolate's the way to go. The big drawback with death by chocolate is that it's just flat out poisonous cake, and once you've used that, no pony will touch any other cake, so that's an end game cake. Once you've used that, all your other cakes will be useless. So that's how they go, and we can see that death by chocolate uses oleander and snake root. So I'm just going to throw that into the pot. In goes the oleander. In goes the snake root. It doesn't matter which order. Boom, death by chocolate. So that's cakes in Slaughterhorse 2. Hope you'll enjoy using them against your fellow Tails ponies, and more to come later.